A new quest is available. In this tutorial, we will explore 3 different methods of creating an introduction using Ren'Py software. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's embark on this quest together. Step 1 of the quest: importing resources into the project. Place your images in the project's images folder and your music in the audio folder if you want to include music. In my case, I will copy several folders into the images folder, which will contain backgrounds, video files, character sprites, and other sprites. Additionally, I will place a music file in the audio folder.
Step 2. Defining resources and creating animations in the script file. Let's proceed to the second step. To do this, open the script file. First, we will create the animations for the character sprite that will be displayed during the introduction. The following code snippet will display a randomly chosen image from the character sprites before playing the animation when the character enters or leaves the scene. For each choice statement, include the name of the image to be displayed. Next, we will create the character animation. To create the animation, include the desired images to be displayed and define the pause time between each image. If you want the animation to repeat, add the repeat statement at the end of this code block. In this example, the animation will play only once. To include music during the introduction, set the path to the folder containing the music. Additionally, define the different backgrounds located in the background subfolder of the project's images folder. To add a grayscale effect to the background, use a dot grayscale followed by the path to the image to be displayed. Now, let's move on to adding text. To display text outside the dialog box, we will use the parameterized text statement. Within the parameterized text, define the position of the text, the type and speed, and the text size.
Great! It's time to proceed to Step 3. Step 3. Creating the introduction using Ren'Py's animation language.
Let's begin by creating the menu that will allow us to select the type of introduction we want to display. For this menu, I will offer 3 choices that will lead to different labels depending on the selection. To display the first chosen introduction, I will create the ATL_RentView label, which directly corresponds to the name of the selected label from the menu. In this code block, I will play music by specifying the audio file to be played and add a 1-second fade-in effect. I will also display a background and the character sprites. The non-animated sprites of the character will be shown when the character is moving into the scene, for example. Once the character stops moving, the character's animation will play. To display the text, I will use the show statement followed by the defined text name and enclose the sentence to be displayed in quotation marks. While the animation is playing, I can hide the non-animated sprite of the character. The pause command followed by a number allows me to specify the pause time in seconds before the next instruction. Once the animation is complete, I just need to display the non-animated sprite of the character again. If the non-animated sprite of the character is displayed, I can hide the main animation of the character since it is not repeated. Next, I can hide the text element if I want to remove the displayed text from the screen. To do this, I use the hide instruction followed by the name of the text to be hidden. Finally, I can hide the non-animated sprite of the character using a transition effect. In this example, I will use the Move Wheel Right transition. I will also redisplay the text box that I hidden during the introduction. To stop the music, I will use the Stop Music instruction, followed by a 1-second fade-out effect.
let's review the result together. Alright, everything seems to be working fine.
Let's proceed to step 4. Step 4. Create the introduction using a video. First, I will define the video to be played. In the images folder of my project, I have a web format video that I will use to display it in the project. Once the video is defined, I will create the second label. In this label, I will display the video using the show statement followed by the name defined to display the video. I will then set a pause followed by the length of the video. In this example, the video is 2 seconds long. Next, I will hide the video with the hide statement followed by the name defined for the video. The video only contains the character's entrance into the scene and its animation. So I'll add a non-animated sprite and the character's exit from the scene. For this, I will display a background and a sprite of the character after the video is played. I will then set a 2-second pause and hide the character sprite and the background containing an effect. Then I will display the background without effect. I then display the text box again to indicate that the introduction is complete. To return to the menu, I use the return statement. It's time to look at the result together.
Super.
The result seems satisfactory. Now let's look at the last step.
Step 5. Create the introduction using movie sprites. For this step, I will define the movie sprites to display. In the movie sprites folder, I have 2 videos. The animated sprite of the character and the mask of the video. Once the movie sprites are defined, I will create the last label for the movie sprites. I will start by displaying a background. I will then hide the text box and show a background containing the gray effect. Next, I'll display the character's non-animated sprites when the character enters the scene. Once the character has appeared on stage, I will play the character's movie sprite. With the movie sprite playing, I will then hide the non-animated sprite of the character. I will then display the text element followed by the text I want to write. The duration of the movie sprite is 3 seconds, so I will define a 3-second pause. Once the character's animation is complete, I will display the character's non-animated sprite again. Finally, I will hide the character sprite with a Move It Right transition effect. To display a text effect in the text box, I can use CPS. This allows me to display text with a writing effect. Well, it's time to test the code. Let's see the result together. The code works correctly, but the text in the middle is not very readable. To address this, I can adjust the position of the text to be displayed using X-align and Y-align. Let's take a look at the result together.
It worked!
The result is displayed correctly. Congratulations! This quest is over. Thanks for watching this tutorial.
Thank you!
See you soon for the next Rinty quests. Bye-bye.